Yeah, so most people are far more upset by massacres than sleeping with trannies. So I think the whole mass slaughter of people really put a damper on conversations with the alt-right.
Would you say that was a fair distinction between before Hailgate? It really was like a big tent movement. Some people minimize that and say that wasn't the real alt right, but would you say that's genuine? That you had a bunch of kind of like libertarian slash anti-war people that were not super political, but you could accurately describe them as alt right.
Yeah, I mean, it was more Big Tent, it was more amorphous, and you had a lot of respectable people who were happy to associate with the alt-right. I mean, Steve Bannon called the Breitbart website alt-right. So after Hailgate, though, nobody with anything to lose could associate with the alt-right because Richard Spencer deliberately insisted essentially that to be alt-right is to be a Nazi. And therefore, anyone with any kind of professional, educational, social, communal standing could not have anything to do with the alt-right. And so it just got overtaken then by antisocial losers who had an unfortunate habit of murdering people and constantly falling out with each other. And it just became, a crap show.
Now, do you see? It's very funny. Like people like Spencer have obviously had a very interesting arc in recent months. But people that sort of write about these people now, maybe not lefty journalist types, but some of these more like online Twitter people that try to create like a genealogy of all the, there's some people who say that there's a difference between somebody who, like I think you mentioned or not Texas, this Hispanic person that identified with these far right symbols, even though he was non-white himself. Some people try to look at that and rather than do the usual hit piece, they'll say things like, well, it's complicated because people on the right are attracted to different things. And so we would not call this person like a white supremacist. We would just say, this is like a mental illness case, or this is, someone who got wrapped up in online stuff, etc. Do you see like there is kind of now, or maybe you would disagree with this now, it seems like there's not a lot of pressure from like Right Wing Watch, for example, to put out consistent hit pieces on the latest young up and coming far right personality. And it does seem like there is some curiosity into what is the psychology behind a lot of these people?
Yeah, I think the alt-right is pretty much dead. George Hawley is a political science professor who wrote 2 books on the alt-right. And after he gave a speech at UC Berkeley in something like May of 2018 or 2019, he had no more speeches booked. Nobody else was curious about the alt-right. Now, there are gradations to the alt-right, like there are gradations to sex workers and strippers and pornographers. So if you go to a strip club, you'll find that the girls are often quite catty, about, other girls, that like one girl might spread more, show more, reveal more than the other girls. And so the regular girls think she's a slut. And I'm sure if you go to a sewer, there are various, forms of sewage in a sewer, and, some are, probably more deadly than others. And then in the pornography industry, certain people look down on other pornographers. They're not real pornographers, or they're false to the medium or whatever. So there are always gradations in the human condition. But for people in polite society, they have no interest in, social interactions with sex workers in general. Like nobody wants to bring a hooker home to meet his mother.